Kabupaten Badung bukan sekedar destinasi. Ia adalah perpaduan antara tradisi yang mengakar kuat dan modernitas yang terus berkembang. Sebagai pusat pertumbuhan ekonomi di Bali, Badung terus berbenah. Infrastruktur modern, fasilitas internasional, hingga pelayanan publik yang inovatif menjadikan daerah ini sebagai simbol kemajuan yang tetap berakar pada kearifan lokal. Untuk menjalankan visi dan misi kepemimpinan daerah, pemerintah Kabupaten Badung meluncurkan Super Hub sebagai pusat informasi digital. Melalui kanal resmi Tribun Bali, menghadirkan informasi terpercaya, aktual, dan mendalam untuk masyarakat Bali. Launching ini sebagai bentuk komitmen nyata dalam membawa Badung menuju era pelayanan publik yang lebih modern, efisien, dan terintegrasi.
Hari ini kita ada penyerahan karikatur dari Tribun Bali kepada Bapak Bupati dan atau yang mewakili beliau. Kemudian ada juga penyerahan bingkisan dari Lapas Perempuan kepada yang mewakili, kami persilakan. Kami persilakan untuk maju. Ini sekaligus saya menyapa selamat datang kepada Bapak Agung Bagus Pratik Salinggi. Sudah hadir di sini, terima kasih. Bisa turut hadir di panggung. Oke, semuanya setelah sesi di atas panggung kita akan foto bersama ya. Nanti semuanya ikut berdiri dan kepada bapak-bapak dan ibu yang di atas panggung nanti kita turun. Kita akan foto bersama. Setelah sesi foto di atas, kita foto di bawah menghadap ke panggung untuk bisa berfoto bersama dengan para peserta yang cantik dan ganteng ini. Yeah? Oke, foto? Siap? 1, 2, 3. Oke, kami persilakan kepada Bapak Ibu untuk turun, kemudian menghadap ke panggung. Selanjutnya kepada fotografer bisa mengambil foto bersama dari atas panggung. Kami persilakan kepada adik-adik peserta semua dan Bapak Ibu yang ada di sini, silakan berdiri, kita foto bersama. Ayo adik-adik yang cantik dan ganteng, kita foto bersama di acara Bali Nusra Education Fair. Saya pandu, ini ada foto dan video ya. Untuk foto pertama, 1, 2, 3. Oke, sekali lagi, bisa ada sedikit gaya yang lebih seru. Ini semangat anak-anak sekolah ini supaya lebih semangat. 1, 2, 3. Oke, sekarang video singkat ya untuk TikTok seperti itu. Oke, boleh sambil menggelengkan kepala atau menggerakkan tangan. Kita mulai, 1, 2, 3. Ya, cukup. Terima kasih banyak Bapak Ibu. Kami persilahkan kepada adik-adik juga untuk kembali duduk. Senang sekali hari ini kita akan masuk sebelum ke acara perlombaan, kita akan mendengarkan talk show dari Bapak Bagus Pratik Salinggi. Beliau kita sudah sangat kenal, anggota DPRD Badung maaf maksud saya anggota DPRD Bali dan juga sekaligus aktif di berbagai organisasi. Terima kasih sudah menyempatkan hadir. Sambil kita mempersiapkan, di sini. Oke, baik, mungkin kursinya bisa di setel di depan. Oke, untuk talkshow kali ini akan dipandu oleh host kita, Ajung Duta. Kepada Ajung Duta saya persilakan. Oke, sambil kita persiapkan lah kursinya ya. Oke.
Cara-caranya. Dalam kesempatan kali ini Pak, izin saya menyampaikan untuk kita dalam temanya tentang studi and career. Bagaimana perjalanan seorang Pak Agung Pratiksa Linggih atau yang akrab disapa sebagai Ajus Linggih untuk menjalani proses dari ketika beliau kecil, beliau sekolah, beliau berkuliah, beliau menata karirnya seperti apa, mari kita dengarkan bersama-sama. Kesempatan saya berikan kepada Pak Ajus Linggih. Tepuk tangan untuk Pak Ajus Linggih.
Ya, makasih waktunya Ajung. Selamat siang adik-adik semua. Karena ini forumnya kecil mungkin enakan di sini aja ya. Sebelum saya mulai, mungkin saya mau nanya dulu nih, teman-teman pada dari mana semua nih ya. Kalau ini dari SMA mana? SMA berapa? SMA 2 Kuta Utara. Kalau yang di sana? Di mana? SMK 3. Di mana tuh? Oh, di Sanur. Oh, di Sanur. Terus yang nggak pakai seragam ini pada dari mana ya, Bapak Ibu sekalian? Oh, orang tua. Oke. Kalau ini tadi dari Santo Yosef. SMA 2. Denpasar. Yang belakangnya? SMA 8. SMA 8 tuh di mana? Peguyangan. Oke, sebelahnya SMA?
SMA 2 Kuta.
Oh, SMA 2. Oke. Nah, ini adik-adik di samping sini?
SMK
SMKN
Negeri
1
1 Sukawati.
Sukawati. Jauh banget dari Sukawati ke sini. Berarti rata-rata SMA ya nih, adik-adik SMA ya? Ini datang ke sini emang program sekolah, pengen sekalian jalan-jalan, atau emang pengen dengerin sedikit curhatan saya nih? Hah? Ini program sekolah ya? Bagian dari program sekolah nggak? Enggak ya? Enggak. Terus gimana? Siapa yang ngasih izin ke sini? Kan hari Senin. Hah? Oh, lomba bahasa Inggris. Oke, gue bahasa Inggris dong di sini. Ya udah, perkenalkan. Nama saya Agung Bagus Pratiksa Linggi. Biasa dipanggil Ajus Linggi. Nah, sekarang kebetulan dipercaya sama masyarakat Beleleng jadi DPRD, dan di sana saya menjadi Ketua Komisi 2 Provinsi Bali, DPRD Provinsi Bali, membidangi ekonomi dan keuangan. Jadi semua tentang ekonomi, baik perbankan, UMKM, terus pertanian, peternakan, pariwisata, itu semua menjadi mitra saya di sana. Nah, saat ini, tahun ini saya umur 32 tahun. Jadi mungkin adik-adik ini setengah umur saya lah, kurang lebih ya, 16 tahun ya kan, kurang lebih. Nah, jadi pengalaman dulu dari SD kelas 6 udah nggak di Bali. Saya di Jakarta, SMP di Jakarta, SMA saya di Magelang, Sekolah Taruna Nusantara, yang sekarang lagi viral lah karena banyak menteri-menteri yang diambil oleh Pak Prabowo dari sana. Terus setelah lulus SMA, saya kuliah di Inggris, di Manchester. Nah, jadi adik-adik di sini kan mau lomba bahasa Inggris nih. Nah, kira-kira pengen kuliah di mana habis dari SMA ini? Ada yang pengen keluar negeri nggak? Kemana? Coba dari sini. Ada yang pengen lanjutin kuliah? Kuliah di mana? Isi itu di mana ya? Oh, di Denpasar. Oke. Ada yang mau keluar negeri nggak? Keluar negerinya di mana?
Kalau saya sendiri sekarang berencana untuk kuliah ke Cina.
Cina. Terus yang di belakang? Waduh, keren juga nih.
Kalau saya sendiri itu saya udah pernah punya pengalaman dalam mengikuti MUN luar negeri. Jadi saya I'm interested in being a diplomat. Jadi mungkin suatu saat nanti saya bisa berpendidikan ke luar negeri dimanapun itu.
Oke. Lanjut belakangnya. Belakangnya juga mau keluar negeri tuh. Mic-nya.
Untuk planning sih maunya ke Aussie.
Ke Aussie.
Iya.
Kenapa ke Aussie?
Karena udah dreams banget, goalsnya pengen ke sana.
Gimana?
Karena emang udah planning ke sana dari lama.
Oh,
Yes.
apa di mananya? Aussie di mananya? Ini kelas berapa? Adiknya kelas berapa?
Masih kelas 10, satu
Oh, kelas
SMA.
10. Oh, ya masih waktu
Iya.
mikir-mikir, masih lama lah. Kalau di Aussie udah ada Banjar katanya. Jadi banyak banget orang Balinya. Apa ya? Jadinya ya mungkin culture shocknya nggak terlalu ini nantinya. Cuman
Iya.
balik lagi, kalau bergaul sama orang-orang Bali aja di sana juga sama aja gitu. Mendingan nggak usah keluar negeri. Gitu.
Oke, makasih Kak.
Ya, ini tadi ada yang keluar negeri juga? Nggak? Mau kemana? Ade mau kemana?
Ke Australia.
Kenapa?
Karena deket.
Sama-sama naik pesawat kok. Mau kalau deketnya bisa jalan kaki kan lain ya. Oke, terus adanya lagi?
Niat pertama mau ke London, tapi kayaknya ke isi Jogja aja.
Kemana?
Ke isi Jogja.
Isi Jogja, oke. Terus yang sebelahnya?
Saya coba-coba scholarship aja sampai dapet.
Oke, nggak apa-apa. Saya juga waktu itu nyoba scholarship, cuman emang namanya scholarship itu nggak selalu 100% gitu. Ada yang 50%, ada yang ya lebih rendah daripada itu juga ada gitu. Jadi nggak apa-apa, coba-coba aja kan gitu ya. Nah, kalau saya dulu, sekarang SMA ini udah masih dipisah nggak sih? Ada IPA, IPS gitu? Masih ya? Katanya nambah ya, ada bahasa juga ya? Bener ya? Oh iya, nah dulu saya karena emang udah cita-cita jadi pengusaha, jadi saya dari kelas 10 itu saya udah musuhin guru-guru IPA. Jadi karena menurut saya nggak relate aja sama kehidupan saya untuk apa namanya masuk ke jurusan IPA. Tapi kalau teman-teman pada mau jurusan IPA, feel free to choose so gitu ya. Alasan saya kenapa ke Manchester mungkin ya. Ini mungkin bisa menjadi nasihat praktikal buat adik-adik semua. Jadi kalau kita mau milih kuliah tuh biasanya dulu tuh pasti nyari hal yang pertama dicari apa? Ranking universitasnya. Ini kalau untuk adik-adik yang keluar negeri nih, ya kan? Tapi ada satu hal yang kadang-kadang dilupain sama banyakan orang. Ada yang tahu? Saya juga baru nyadar ini ketika saya kerja. Ataupun saya memberikan pekerjaan. Jadi namanya sebuah perusahaan, employer gitu ya, dia nggak ngelihat sebenarnya rankingnya. Yang dia lihat itu sebenarnya lebih ke brandnya, brand university-nya, gitu. Jadi contoh, kenapa saya pilih Manchester daripada Exeter gitu kan? Exeter tuh rankingnya lebih tinggi daripada Manchester pada saat itu. Gitu. Cuman orang-orang Indo tuh nggak ada yang tahu di mana. Ada yang tahu Exeter di mana? Nggak ada yang tahu kan? Itu saya ngomong Manchester, semua pasti tahu pada di mana kan? Nah, jadi sebenarnya simple aja. Ketika adik-adik nanti bekerja, yang dilihat itu seberapa terkenal sih university-nya. Gitu. Bukan ranking university-nya, karena nggak mungkin yang namanya HR, nggak tahu mungkin orang tuanya ada yang kerja di HR, nggak ada yang ngeliatin, oh ini anak masuk tahun 2027 gitu. Coba kita lihat deh ranking universitasnya pada tahun 2027. Nah itu sangat kecil kemungkinannya. Jadi kalau emang mau milih kampus tuh lebih pilih yang lebih terkenal aja udah cukup sebenarnya. Ataupun pilih yang brandnya bagus gitu. Kalau di Indo kan, ini ada apa nih? Ini ada Universitas Bali International. Ini baru ya? Ini sponsor ya? Oh peserta juga? Wah keren juga nih. Nah, jadi apa namanya, nggak menutup kemungkinan juga adik-adik sekolah-sekolah selain yang biar ya, itu bisa sukses karena at the end of the day itu lebih ke karakter sih. Ya kalau adik-adik sekarang udah jujur, rajin, punya apa ya, bisa dibilang time management yang bagus, itu bakalan bawa adik lebih jauh daripada university degree. Jadi balik lagi, nanti adik-adik pasti akan terutama sekarang nggak ada UN ya. Sekarang apa sih kalau SMA tuh? Kalau mau lulus SMA kayak apa sih? TKA, TKA atau apa? Tes apa? Tes kemampuan akademik gitu ya. Itu bedanya sama UN apa ya Pak ya? Tapi itu berlaku nasional, itu soalnya sama semua? seluruh Indonesia? Atau beda-beda setiap sekolah? Oh ya udah kayak UN lah, basically dulu namanya UN, zaman saya dulu namanya ujian nasional. Nah, ujian nasional tuh biasanya dulu tuh untuk menghindari nyontek-nyontek tuh dibagi lima jenis di zaman saya. Jadi ada 5 jenis soal, duduknya jauh-jauhan, jadi susah lah yang namanya contek-contekan. Nah, di zaman saya lulus SMA juga itu ketentuan yang jalur undangan ke PTN itu pertama kali diluncurkan. Ada yang tahu nggak sih jalur undangan? Tahu kan? Nah, jadi yang nggak usah tes langsung masuk ke universitasnya. Nah, kebetulan memang pada saat tahun itu saya lulus pas kebijakan itu. Nah, karena saya dapat undangan dari PTN-PTN dalam negeri, karena saya mikir saya either ke US atau ke UK, saya nggak ambil undangan itu karena kalau misalnya diambil undangannya terus nggak datang ke sana, nggak sekolah di sana, sekolahnya kena blacklist. Nah, itu saya takut dimusuhin sama teman-teman waktu dulu karena itu ya ngalangin orang lain lah istilahnya untuk masuk ke universitas nasional pada saat itu. Jadi kalau dari saya semenjak saya lulus itu, waktu saya tahun kedua di Manchester, itu saya baru mulai aktif berorganisasi. Tahun pertama udah mulai aktif berorganisasi, tahun kedua saya jadi ketua PPI Manchester. Jadi kayak di situ tuh kayak persatuan pelajarnya, nah saya jadi ketua PPI-nya. Saya pada saat itu saya masih umur 18 dan karena lazimnya orang Indonesia tuh kan S2 tuh ke luar negeri, bukan S1. Jadi kita waktu itu cuman ber-11 kalau nggak salah. Itu S1-nya. S1-nya cuma 11 orang. Ini sebelum LPDP, S2-nya mungkin ya 30-an orang lah. Jadi masih di bawah 50. Nah, pas saya di sana mulai deh tuh ada LPDP yang darinya 50-an orang meledak jadi 150-an orang, habis itu 200-an orang, tahun-tahun berikutnya udah banyak banget lah orang Indo di sana. Kenapa UK? Karena UK itu satu emang apa ya, secara brand bagus di dunia dan kita tuh punya yang namanya, kalau adik-adik tahu di US kan ada Ivy League. Ya kan, tahu Ivy League nggak? Tahu kan? Nah kalau di UK itu namanya Russell Group, gitu. Nah itu grup universitas riset. Nah mirip kayak Ivy League, gitu. Nah Manchester itu salah satu bagian dari Russell Group ini. Nah pas di sana ini penting buat adik-adik untuk aktif berorganisasi juga. Nggak? OSIS. Ada OSIS lagi ataupun apa yang organisasi di ada? Nah, itu penting buat adik-adik belajar gimana caranya berhubungan dengan orang lain, sebenarnya kayak gitu. Tapi sayangnya memang kalau OSIS di SMA, SMP itu masih apa ya? Masih embrionya lah. Masih belum terlalu banyak ketemu berbagai macam orang karena kelasnya masih kecil dan rata-rata tuh dari lingkungan yang mirip-mirip dan umurnya mirip-mirip. Nah nanti kalau udah kuliah itu udah mulai beragam tuh dari umur, background dan lain-lain. Nah itu akan jadi next levelnya. Nah setelah lulus saya balik ke Indo, nggak sampai S2 cuman S1 aja di sana. Sempat kebingungan, mungkin ini akan menjadi pertanyaan adik-adik ke depan. Pas lulus kuliah tuh mau ngapain? Sama kayak sekarang mau kuliah di mana, tapi kalau lulus kuliah itu pertanyaan pertamanya pasti mau ngapain, gitu kan. Saya waktu itu pengen banget jadi banker sebenarnya. Gitu. Cuman karena mungkin terekspos sama dunia usaha, dari kecil akhirnya jadi pengusaha. Nah, usaha pertama yang saya bangun itu adalah winery. Saya nggak nyangka ternyata sesusah itu bikin winery. Mungkin nggak banyak yang tahu kalau bikin wine itu paling cepat 6 bulan sampai dengan 1 tahun. Jadi product life cycle-nya itu terlalu panjang. Nah, dari situ saya bangun banyak bisnis lah. Yang sekarang saya kelola itu ada 4 bisnis. Winery masih ada, brewery masih ada, recently brewery, terus advertising company, sama kalau pernah ke Canggu, mungkin adik-adik yang di Kuta Utara tahu restoran atau bakery yang namanya Butterman. Butterman ada juga di Jogja, Surabaya, dan Bali. Nah, itu 4 usaha yang saya bangun dan kebetulan memang karena tertarik juga di politik recently. Saya baru masuk partai politik juga baru sekitar 2 tahun lalu. Dan ya biasanya nggak langsung jadi orang-orang, tapi ya untungnya dengan pengalaman mengelola organisasi dan mengelola bisnis bisa jadi. Nah, kira-kira kurang lebih sih pengalaman saya itu. Nah, key points-nya yang sebenarnya yang menurut saya itu menjadi inti buat adik-adik semua itu gini. Ini saya yakin adik-adik di sini adik-adik yang pinter karena ikut lomba-lomba bahasa Inggris dan cukup aktif lah di pelajaran gitu ya. Saya waktu itu tergolong orang yang aktif, tapi secara akademis saya juara. Cuman saya nggak suka ikutan lomba-lomba, saya lebih suka bergaul sama teman-teman gitu. Nah, yang menjadi pembeda itu gini, mungkin banyak yang adik-adik udah lihat bahwa teman-teman yang nakal justru sukses ke depannya, tapi malah yang pinter-pinter itu malah kerja buat yang nakal-nakal. Ini mungkin bapak-bapak di depan ini juga merasakan. Tapi sebenarnya ada satu hal yang mungkin nggak menjadi keseluruhan jawaban, tapi apa yang saya simpulkan. Kenapa teman-teman yang nakal dan yang nggak suka sekolah itu ujung-ujungnya lebih pinter, lebih sukses daripada teman-teman yang pinter di sekolah gitu ya. Jadi orang-orang yang nggak rajin sekolah gitu ya, nakal, adik-adik yang nakal, itu satu dia berani ngambil resiko. Ya. Kedua dia nggak punya pilihan, dia nggak terlalu banyak pilihan, gitu. Kadang-kadang kita perlu banyak tahu itu juga menjadi penghalang untuk mencoba. Oke. Nah, ini adik-adik di sini ini punya pilihan sebenarnya untuk ngambil resiko, ya, untuk manfaatin yang adik-adik tahu dan tahu timing kapan untuk ngambil sebuah langkah. Jadi nggak cukup tahu teori, tahu resiko-resiko itu nggak cukup. Jadi adik-adik harus tahu timing kapan untuk ngejalanin apa yang adik-adik pengenin gitu. Di sisi lain juga kalau extreme casesnya ya, yang mungkin yang juara-juara lomba itu kenapa dia lebih bisa dibilang lebih terbatas ke depannya gitu kan. Karena ada yang namanya kalau di buku-buku itu armchair syndrome. Nah, itu sindrom di mana mereka udah merasa mereka expert. Jadi they stop learning. Nah, isunya tuh kadang-kadang most of the time itu di sana. You end up stop learning gitu lah, basically, ya. Karena karena udah merasa tahu, terus merasa safe, punya pekerjaan, nggak mau ngambil resiko, dan akhirnya apa ya, kekejar sama teman-teman yang dulunya nakal, ngerasa bego, ngerasa bodoh, ngebuka otaknya untuk belajar. Ngerti kan di sini kan? Nah, jadi akhirnya yang pinter-pinter tuh kekejar sama yang dulunya nakal-nakal di sekolah. Selain di sini ngambil resiko, mereka ngebuka diri untuk belajar. Isunya teman-teman adik-adik yang sekolahnya pinter, itu kadang-kadang sangat sulit untuk diajarin ilmu baru. Karena dia udah ngerasa dia pinter. Padahal di dunia kerja, itu ngebutuhin skill set yang berbeda. Gitu, daripada belajar. Paham ya di sini ya? Dan untuk jadi pengusaha itu nggak ada namanya yang nyuruh belajar. Nanti itu akan kebingungan sendiri ketika adik-adik nggak biasa belajar sendiri dan inisiatif sendiri. Emang belajar itu karena sebuah keharusan. Terus tiba-tiba di dunia kerja, terus mau yang jadi pengusaha nggak ada yang ngasih tahu harus ngapain. Nah ini juga kadang-kadang bingung. Saya pun juga ngalamin kayak gitu, biasanya diperintah gitu kan. Terus tiba-tiba kok dapat kemerdekaan untuk memilih nih. Nah mau nggak mau akhirnya belajar dan harus nge-push diri sendiri. Nah kira-kira itu di konsepnya. Jadi saya harap terutama adik-adik yang di depan ini tolong terus belajar karena adik-adik punya potensi yang besar. Sayangnya adik-adik yang pinter-pinter ini biasanya nggak berani tap in ke potensi yang besar itu karena terlalu banyak tahu atau terlalu banyak merasa tahu sehingga nggak tumbuh secara tenang gitu. Ini saya harap adik-adik di sini bisa ngebuktiin bahwa yang pinter-pinter juga nggak kalah, berani ngambil resikonya dan mau belajarnya dibanding teman-teman yang bisa dibilang tanda kutip nakal. Gitu kira-kira ya. Mungkin itu aja sih dari saya, Jung. Waktu saya kembalikan. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih banyak untuk Kak Ajus Linggi atas nasihat dan pesan-pesannya. Sekiranya dari adik-adik mungkin ada ingin menanyakan sesuatu terkait pengalaman yang sudah diceritakan oleh Kak Ajus. Banyak banget pengalaman yang sudah diceritakan tadi dan sangat menginspirasi kita semua pastinya. Bagaimana usaha beliau, bagaimana beliau membangun karirnya, bagaimana beliau memikirkan untuk ketika saya harus berusaha, ketika saya harus bisa menjadi sesuatu. Dan itu kan bukan sesuatu yang mudah, pasti ada perjalanan yang harus ia lewati. Bagaimana rasa sakitnya, bagaimana rasa perjuangannya yang akhirnya menjadi kaum beliau seperti sekarang. Nah mungkin dari teman-teman sekarang ada yang ingin bertanya, apa yang ingin ditanyakan, mungkin pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang bisa disampaikan langsung kepada Kak Ajus. Boleh angkat tangan teman-teman untuk yang ingin bertanya, oke silahkan.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Selin dari SMAS Katolik Santo Yosef Denpasar. Di sini saya ingin bertanya kepada Pak Ajus, kira-kira apa saja sih kayak main struggles yang kakak alamin selama pengembangan diri kakak selama ini? Terima kasih.
Struggles ya, banyak. Sebenarnya gini, struggle utama itu sebenarnya gimana caranya menjadi konsisten. Tapi banyak orang ngira konsisten tuh kayak gini nih. Ngerti nggak? Konsisten tuh sebenarnya kayak gini. Ngerti nggak? Dulu tuh saya juga ngira gimana sih caranya kita jadi konsisten. Karena mikirnya tuh selalu the same result every day gitu. Sebenarnya nggak kayak gitu gitu. Just keep doing what you're doing every day gitu. Make it a habit. Ngerti nggak? Karena contoh misalnya, saya dulu nggak suka baca orangnya, ya. Tapi ternyata pas lulus kuliah itu kayak ngerasa kayak masa kayak gini aja sih, kayak kok kita nggak nambah sih pengetahuan kita gitu. Dari situ saya akhirnya coba belajar baca buku. Nah simpelnya tuh sebenarnya gini, waktu awal-awal tuh nggak suka ngantuk. 5 halaman aja udah ngantuk gitu. Tapi akhirnya dengan saya coba untuk blok waktu 10 halaman sehari gitu. Tapi kalaupun lagi males baca buku nih misalnya, nonton YouTube 10 menit yang edukatif gitu. Jadi main take-nya itu saya harus belajar satu hal baru. Tes. Nah, jadi itu yang pengen apa yang saya berusaha untuk selalu pegang gitu. Jadi apa sih pelajaran yang kita dapat setiap harinya gitu. Jadi being 1% better every day is actually good for you lah gitu. Intinya kayak gitu. Nggak usah ngoyo gitu. Pokoknya saya harus ini. Nggak, coba aja belajar. Oh, nemu ini nih hari ini gitu. Celebrate juga gitu loh di dalam diri. Oh, ternyata saya belajar hal baru ya hari ini gitu. Jadi akhirnya contoh nih ya. Dengan baca 10 halaman sehari, itu dalam 3 minggu itu udah baca buku satu yang cukup tebal. Jadi 210 halaman gitu. Jadi dalam 1 tahun adik-adik itu udah ngebaca 12 buku sampai dengan 15 buku. Dan itu pengalaman yang adik-adik dari baca dalam buku itu tuh akan sangat cepet ngejar senior baca buku. Bahkan yang udah umurnya 40 bahkan 50 tahun. Karena pembelajaran mereka lebih lambat. Ngerti kan? Ini kan sebenarnya kita ngomongnya speed, learning speed gitu. Nah kalau baca buku tuh bisa apply itu, terus baca buku lagi, oh kayak cocok untuk culture di Indonesia nggak cocok, oke kita coba yang ini, yang itu gitu. Jadi semakin dia punya pengalaman, semakin pengen baca buku kayak bingung-bingung, kayaknya baca buku manajemen deh, coba baca kayak gitu loh. Nanti akan timbul sendiri rasa pengen taunya. Itu untuk konsistensi ya. Ada lagi ini yang saya baca, yang saya sampaikan ke adik-adik, bahwa banyak kan orang-orang pada umumnya selalu mengkaitkan ya hasil dengan effort. Ngerti nggak di sini? Pernah nggak sih, ini terutama yang pinter-pinter nih, pernah nggak sih ngerasa kayak gini? Ketika ngelihat orang lain nih, misalnya apa sih bahasanya sekarang, remedi ya, hair ya. Apa sih kalau fail itu apa? Remedi kan? Kita tuh secara unconsciously itu kita menganggap dia tuh bego lah ibaratnya, skillnya tuh kurang gitu. Tapi ketika kita sendiri yang fail, kita ngerasa tuh kita tuh sial. Ngerti nggak? Nah, tapi ketika orang lain sukses, kita selalu cenderung nganggap dia itu hoki. Ngerti nggak? Dan ketika kita sukses, kita menganggap kita yang skillful. Kita karena kita nih, gitu. Karena ability kita. Sebenarnya itu yang harus dirubah. Itu nggak menentukan hasil. Effort itu nggak menentukan hasil. Oke. Effort itu ya memperbesar kemungkinan adik-adik berhasil, tapi bukan menjadi penentu. Ya. Jadi di setiap hasil itu ada 2 elemen di sana. Elemen effort, skill, dan luck di sana. Pernah dengar nggak sih pepatah ngomong gini? The harder you work, the luckier you get. Pernah dengar nggak? Sebenarnya it's actually the more you work, the less luck you need. Ngerti di sini? Jadi mungkin adik-adik sekarang coba ilhamin lah, apa sih namanya, apa bahasa ininya, introspeksi diri gitu ya. Kira-kira pas kapan sih adik-adik itu sebenarnya nggak berusaha maksimal, tapi hasilnya tuh maksimal ternyata gitu. Dan kadang-kadang ada adik-adik udah belajar setengah mati segala macam, ternyata hasilnya biasa-biasa aja atau bahkan fail gitu. Nah, di situ elemen luck sebenarnya main. Ngerti nggak? Jadi adik-adik itu harusnya fokus tuh sama ada satu pertanyaan yang harus adik-adik jawab setiap adik-adik bikin keputusan. Did I do my best? Gitu. Oke. Kalau emang udah bisa jawab oke, I did my best, apapun hasilnya itu udah di luar kendali. Jangan sampai hasil itu menjadi penentu bahwa kayak harusnya gue kayak gini, harusnya gue kayak gitu. Enggak. Sebenarnya harusnya kalian itu nge-reflect itu pada saat kalian bikin decision itu, pengetahuan yang adik punya tuh apa gitu. Jangan menyesali, jadi jangan disesalin. Ngerti ya? Ketika make that decision, refleksnya itu pengetahuan pada saat sebelum bikin decision itu. Jangan setelah harusnya kita gini, harusnya kayak gitu. Itu reflection juga boleh, cuman jangan terlalu keras juga sama diri sendiri gitu. Ya. Ini terutama nih mau lomba kan. Nah, just do your best gitu. Masalah hasil itu udah di luar kendali kita. Paham ya? Di sini ya. Nah, itu sih main struggle-nya, konsistensi dan gimana kita melepas antara effort dengan hasil. Nah, itu sih kira-kira. Thank you.
Oke, terima kasih banyak untuk jawabannya Kak Ajus. Nanti udah terjawab ya Kak Selin dari pertanyaannya. Mungkin untuk teman-teman yang lain ada yang bertanya? Oke.
Lumayan lama waktunya Bu tadi. Maklum niki. Gimana lanjut? Masihkah ada waktu Ibu? Oke.
Bisa satu lagu lagi nggih? Untuk adik-adik nanti peserta Ida Ayu Putu Miranda Ramesti Yoga dari SMA Swati 1 Denpasar. Yang mana? Dayu? Nggih, Dayu bisa mempersiapkan dulu.
Iya, nggak apa-apa.
Maaf ya.
Tulungin jetian awak tiang panas dingin.
Ya. Ini dipasang di sini.
Jebeli kematian. Sing kuat tiang sing kuat nanang saput tebal tiang coba sing mempan.
Oh ya.
Yang ke dokter tiang takut kena jam kebalian tiang masih sing bani takut orang abah bebaik bisa nyainang tiang salah tampi tua beli nyanyi dan ngubah dan tiang beli pina ke dokter tiang sapoten tiang hangaten tiang pasti sakit tiang hilang.
Oh ya, sih.
Mirip tiang kebalik pinang, tiang ini meriah, sing kuat tiang sing kuat nenang, saput tebal tiang subah sing mempan. Mana tuh nek? Yang ke dokter tiang takut kena jam kebalian, tiang masih sing bani, takut orang amal bebaik, bisa nyainang tiang salah tampi. Tuah beli nyanyi dan obadan tiang, beli pina ke dokter tiang, saput tiang, hangat tiang, pasti sakit tiang hilang. Sini. Yang ke dokter tiang takut kena jam kebalian, tiang masih sing bani, takut orang amal bebaik, pastinya enang tiang sakit hati. Tuah beli nyanyi dan obatin tiang, beli pina ke dokter tiang, sabut tiang, hangat tiang, pasti sakit tiang hilang. Hai suksema kirang langkong lunas yang pengampuran niki. Tamat yang niki.
Bagus sekali Bu. Bagus sekali suaranya. Terima kasih banyak kepada Ibu Sri Dianawati dari FOC Entertainment dan FOC Community. Terima kasih Bu Cok. Terima kasih nggih, ampun nyarengin Riki. Oke, ini saat-saat yang menegangkan. Tapi sebelumnya izinkan saya memperkenalkan Dewan Juri yang nanti akan menentukan ya siapa yang akan menjadi juara. Oke, saya perkenalkan Mr. Tyson Michael Burnett. Halo adik-adik. Oke, baik, terima kasih ya adik-adik. Langsung saja kita akan mulai. Peserta pertama, oke, sambil kita mempersiapkan untuk meja juri. Ini pasti sudah siap ya.
Pidato.
Doa-doanya udah panjang semua. Jangan grogi, pokoknya tunjukkan yang terbaik saat ini. Habis itu lupakan, pasrahkan, oke? Ade Ida Ayu Putu Miranda Pramesti Yoga sudah siap?
Yes.
Oke, untuk waktu bisa dilihat, nanti kita langsung mulai saja.
Oke.
Kami persilakan.
Tes, tes, tes.
Bisa tes, Mike?
Tes, 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 tes. Tes, tes. Tes, tes. Oke. In the morning, what's the first thing? Maybe you see news online about war or economic problems that's happening around the world, and you start to feel anxious or overwhelmed. Or maybe you'll even see something entertaining that gives your brain a burst of dopamine, or the feel-good chemical that makes you want to keep scrolling. Now, this habit of endless scrolling makes me think, if we pay so much attention about what we eat to protect our physical health, and as kids we're told not to take candies from strangers, then why are we not as concerned about what we consume on social media to protect our mental health? Ladies and gentlemen, respected judge, and to my dear friends, good afternoon. My name is Ida Ayu Putri Miranda Pramestioga from SMA SLUA Saraswati Satu Denpasar. And today I want to talk about why what we choose to consume on social media matters more than we think. Social media, the way teenagers engage with social media matters greatly. Social media has become part of our everyday life. It connects us with people, introduces us to new things, and allows us to express ourselves. But a major study showed that spending more than 3 hours a day on social media has a risk on anxiety and depression symptoms among teenagers. Teenagers spend over 5 hours a day on their phone, and much of the time is on social media. Now, the real issue here isn't just about how long we spend online, it's about what we consume. Okay, first let's talk about comparison. I'm sure many of us here have compared ourselves to other people before, and wonder, why am I not as pretty as her, or why am I not as talented? Over time, this self-talk will damage your self-confidence and make you feel unworthy. The second issue here is seeing too much negative news online. Too much exposure to negative news can make people feel anxious, overwhelmed, and feel hopeless. Sometimes in the morning, I open Instagram and I see news about war that's happening in different parts of the world. Now, this makes me stressed. And this can affect on teenagers' performance at school. Because when you study in a bad state of mind, then it's hard to understand things and hard to focus. And the third thing is social media makes you hard to focus. Watching short videos online can make your brain release dopamine. Social media platforms are designed to keep our attention with short videos, notification, and endless scrolling. This makes our brain so used to quick stimulation and instant rewards. So every time we try to do something that requires attention, focus, and patience, it all seems hard to do. That's why the way we choose to That's why what we choose to consume on social media matters a lot. That's why I have 2 requests for every teenager my age. The first one is to start welcoming the positivity and block out the negativity.
It can be as simple as unfollowing or blocking accounts that makes you nervous or overwhelmed. And surround yourself with content that inspires you, supports you, and educates you. And the second one is to educate and encourage others to use social media in a healthier way. Many experts recommend limiting social media use to 1 to 2 hours a day. And I think that's all that I can share with you guys. Once again, my name is Miranda, and let's use social media wisely, because the content we choose to consume today will shape the way we think tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, check. All right, that wasn't bad. So where did you come from in Bali?
Why, what?
Where did you come from?
Oh, I'm from Denpasar.
Oh, Denpasar, that's close. Okay. So what do you want to do after high school?
Oh, well, after high school, of course, I want to go to college, and maybe I want to, not maybe, I'm sure I will study psychology.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. What made you want to study psychology exactly?
Okay. Why I want to study psychology is because everything about mental health is very interesting to me. That's why I choose this topic, social media and mental health, because every chance I can talk about or learn more about mental health is very interesting.
Okay, cool. Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, luar biasa sekali ya penampilan dari Dayu Miranda. Kita panggilkan peserta kedua, Gusti Agung Istri Krisna Karina Kepakisan dari SMA Katolik Santo Yosef Denpasar.
Sahur sehat tanpa nyalain kompor dan cuci banyak wajan.
Cukup campur semua di mangkok, kasih telur, potongan sosis, bayam merah, aduk rata, dan masukin ke Sharp Microwave Oven Solo Retro yang looknya klasik tapi performanya zaman now. Knobnya satisfying banget pas diputar. Kapasitasnya cukup buat sehari-hari, panasnya merata, dan yang pasti hemat listrik buat pemakaian harian. Matang sempurna dan merata sampai ke dalam. Sahur jadi lebih nyaman kalau semudah ini.
Gusti Agung Istri Krisna Karina Kepakisan akan membawakan tema Preparing for Future Career. Oke, kami persilahkan waktu 7 menit. Bisa dimulai? 1, 2, 3.
Ladies, cek.
Oke, waktunya kita ulang.
Cek.
Oke, kita mulai lagi ya. 1, 2, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, respected judge and my fellow friends here today. My name is Gusti Agung Istri Krisna Karina Kepakisan from St. Joseph Senior High School. Before I begin, let me ask 2 questions. To my fellow youth, what career do you want to have in the future? And to the respected elders here today, have you fulfilled the career you once dreamed of? These 2 questions remind us of one simple truth, that the future isn't always as predictable as we think it is. And in a digital world that never slows down, that uncertainty feels even bigger. Everything moves fast. Trends change overnight, and jobs evolve before we can even understand them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's such a weird world we're in right now. Today, we live in an era where we grow up with artificial intelligence in our classrooms and algorithms shaping what we see every day. So, in a reality like this, the question is no longer just, what job do I want? The question is, am I ready to adapt? Some jobs that exist today might not even exist tomorrow, while careers that didn't even exist 5 years ago may soon be the ones we pursue. So, ladies and gentlemen, how do we prepare for a future that refuses to say the same? The answer isn't just in chasing a specific job title. It's in the qualities we choose to build today. To my fellow young people, this is our era. And in order to thrive, we must become something more. We must become ACE, adaptive, competent, and empathetic. Let's start with being adaptive. Imagine a young student who dreams of becoming a journalist. She spends years preparing, studying, and improving her writing. But as she grows up, the world around her changes. Technology transforms the way stories are being created and shared. At that moment, she has two choices. One, she can either turn down change and stick to her old ways instead, or two, she can learn new tools and grow with the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what it means to be adaptive. Because in a world that changes ever so fast, success doesn't go to those who simply hold on to an era. It belongs to those who are willing to change with the world. However, ladies and gentlemen, adaptability alone isn't enough. We also need competence, the ability to do something well. Being competent means more than just knowing something. It means mastering it. Today, information is everywhere. We can find answers to questions in seconds. But the real skill is knowing what to do with those answers, how to make sense of them, and how we can use them in our daily lives. Anyone can use technology, but not everyone understands it. And that understanding is what makes us stand out. However, ladies and gentlemen, what if that student becomes highly skilled? What if she finally masters artificial intelligence and technology better than anyone else? But what if she creates solutions that are efficient, but not meaningful or compassionate? Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the final piece becomes truly important: empathy. Empathy reminds us that behind every screen is a real person, a person with feelings and needs. Yes, machines can count faster than us, and they can analyze data quicker. But they cannot truly understand what a person is going through. When we keep that in mind, we create technology that inspires instead of intimidates, that actually helps instead of harms. And ladies and gentlemen, that is when technology stops just being impressive, but starts being impactful. Now, I know many young people feel anxious about the future, that technology feels overwhelming, that the pressure is real, and that the competition is tough. But ladies and gentlemen, fear is not a sign for us to stop. It shows that this future matters to us. So instead of letting that fear hold us back, we can let it fuel us and let it challenge us to become a better generation for the world. So, before I conclude my speech, let me circle back to the questions I asked in the beginning. To my fellow youth, what career do you want to have in the future? And to the respected elders here today, have you fulfilled the career you once dreamed of? Maybe the future isn't about sticking perfectly to the plans we made years ago. Maybe, instead, the future is about whether or not we are ready to face the opportunities we cannot yet see. But if we choose to be adaptive, competent, and empathetic, we will not just be ready to face the future. We will be ready to build it. After all, the future isn't just something we wait for. It is something we shape and we build together. Thank you.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Long speech. I could never memorize a speech that long myself. So how long did it take you to perfect that speech?
I would say around 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
of
including the writing process and then memorization.
every day, reading it over
Yes.
and over again? Really? That's really good. So your topic is preparing for future careers. What do you have any idea what you want to do, like in after high school or whatever?
Well, after high school, of course, I would like to go to college to study architecture, and I dream of becoming an architect.
Oh, nice. What do you want to design?
Houses, buildings, community spaces, anything that can contribute to our community.
Oh, okay. Do you currently draw anything like that right now?
What?
Do you currently draw up
Yes,
houses?
I practice drawing every day, drawing buildings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool. All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah ya sekali lagi. Peserta selanjutnya Kenya Aulia Azara Derider dari SMA Negeri 2 Denpasar. Kita beri semangat. Untuk waktu, kita mulai hitungan mundur. 1, 2, mulai.
Tes. Belum Kak. Tes. Okay. Okay, so good morning our respectable judges, our dear audience and my fellow friends. So I want all of you to imagine a classroom where the students no longer struggles to write essays, where complicated homeworks can be done in seconds, and where answers appear instantly on the glowing screen. So cool, right? My name is Kenya Aulia Azahra Dreider, and I'm proudly representing SMA 2 Denpasar. And today, I would like to explore one important question. Are we learning less in the age of artificial intelligence? But before we discuss the impact that it has, we must first acknowledge what AI is. So, artificial intelligence, or AI, refers to computer system design to perform tasks that normally requires human intelligence, such as understanding language, such as recognizing patterns, and solving problems. Well, it might seem like a miracle in technology. AI promises us efficiency, convenience, and a huge chunk of information at our fingertips. Now, the concept of AI is not entirely new. It was first formally introduced in 1956 at the Dartmouth Conference, where scientists began to explore whether machines could simulate the human intelligence. And since then, AI has evolved dramatically from simple rule-based system to actually generative AI that we know today. Now, everyone, AI has also rapidly entered the education field. In Indonesia alone, its use has become widely spread. And a survey from Universitas Islam Riau in 2025 proved that a survey conducting of more than 1,500 students aged 15 to 29, they found that 86% of students has used AI to complete their assignments. Well, it proved that huge numbers, it proved that AI has become our learning habits. Now, on one hand though, AI could offer real advantage in education, such as simplifying and explaining different concepts, providing feedbacks to students, or even become a learning assistant to so many learners. But, however, convenience often come with hidden consequences. When students begin to use AI to complete their tasks, they lose the most important part of learning, which is the process of thinking itself.
Okay.
Now, it leads us to one important question. What is the purpose of learning or education? Education itself is not merely about solving questions or finishing answers or producing correct answers. The true purpose of education is to develop the human mind. The human mind itself, it means to question ideas, to analyze information, and to solving problems. By this essential process, students can actually begin to develop creativity and intellectual thinking. Now, when students begin to rely on AI to think for them, it makes students lose the ability to become an active thinker. They become more passive and the slave of technology. And then I never said that AI is entirely harmful in every field. For example, in medical field, AI is used to detect disease earlier, to actually assist doctors in providing faster and more accurate diagnosis. By that said, AI is not entirely harmful and it can actually enhance human expertise. And therefore, I believe that the challenge we face today is not whether AI should exist in education or not. It's the fact that how we use it wisely. One solution is we should use AI as a limited learning assistant rather than a problem solver. And school and educators also played an important part in this field. We should guide students to actually limit the usage of AI and more use trusted journals or internet sources to emphasize their thinking. In conclusion, artificial intelligence should never ever replace the meaning or the purpose of education where we develop our purpose of learning and thinking. And that's why we believe that education and artificial intelligence should never ever overlap to their purposes. And audience, so the question that I will ask is, will you choose convenience or will you choose the hardship of learning? Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
So did you have AI write your speech?
Yes.
Oh, you did? You did
Yes.
have it.
Yeah.
Did you have AI write your speach for you?
I didn't use AI in my speech.
Oh, you wrote it? Okay, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I don't. AI is good and bad, right?
Yeah,
Some of the photos and video are
unfortunately.
pretty bad, terrible. But some of the information's okay. Is that your true personal opinion of it, good and bad,
My true opinion of why AI is bad
or good?
or good. Okay, so I believe we should not justify whether AI is good or bad based on one condition. Like I said in my speech earlier, in medical field, AI can actually be useful to diagnose disease earlier, right?
Exactly.
But it's a shame that so many AI is used to replace so many creative workers and education workers.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have anything you'd like to do after high school?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Do you have any career you want to do after high school?
Oh, of course, I want to go to college. I want to learn more about marketing.
Marketing, okay,
Yes.
good. If it's not replaced by AI.
Yeah, I hope not. No.
That's right, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Oke, beri tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Alia. Selanjutnya kita panggilkan peserta nomor 4, Kade Andari Danawangsa dari SMK Negeri 3 Denpasar. Silakan menuju ke panggung. Dan untuk peserta selanjutnya, nomor urut 5 bisa bersiap-siap di belakang panggung. Untuk waktu sudah siap, kita hitung mundur. 3, 2, tes dulu. Oke.
Tes.
3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Andari,
If you're wondering who is standing before you today, well, I'm a proud ambivert. On some days, I love the connections and spotlight with all of you. But on other days, I need to disappear into my own quiet space to recharge. Because of this duality, I see the digital world through two lenses. I see the thrills of likes, but I also feel the crushing weight of digital noise. Today, I'm not here to give you a lecture. I'm here to talk about struggle we all face. How will we build our personal brands without losing our mental health? How do we stay connected without falling into the trap of brain rot? And most importantly, how do we find ourselves when we are constantly comparing ourselves with anyone else? So, okay. Okay, so in this digital world, sorry. For a second. Oh, okay. Okay. According to Indonesia Adults Mental Health Survey, 1 in 3 Indonesian adolescents has experienced a mental health issue in the past years. Report under news also highlight how unrealistic digital standards from digital news. Even more tragically, KPAI note that in 2023 alone, there were 116 cases of child suicide. There aren't just statistics, there are humans' lives. On top of brain rot, we face brain rot. It sounds like a joke, but the constant consumption of course from depression is attacking our attentions, making it impossible for us to stay focused or think deeply. So, how do we fight back? I offer 3 unique solutions. First, apply the 1% rule. Be a radical editor of your mind. Cut out 99% of the contents and keep only the 1% of noise that actually helps you grow. Second, use the 24 hours mirror test. Before posting it for branding, save it in your draft. Ask, am I posting it because I'm proud? Or because I need validations? If the urge disappeared after a day, it was just dopamine craving. Third, embrace JOMO, the joy of missing out. In the world of FOMO, JOMO is the ultimate cure. It's a happiness founding when you intentionally step away from the digital noise, find a peace in the real world. JOMO says, we don't have to need everything to be happy. Ladies and gentlemen, remember what Oscar Wilde once said, be yourself. Everyone is already taken. Being someone else on the internet is exhausting. Don't not let your follower count define your self-worth. Let us control our humanity before our screens kill our humanity. My name is Andari, and I choose to stay awake in a world that is falling asleep behind the screen. Thank you.
Okay, good. So how long did it take you to prepare for this?
So I just got the letters from 1 week ago, so I only have 3 days for this preparation. So.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah.
So when did you first start speaking English?
When
did you first start speaking English?
So my mom is an English teacher,
So she want me to learn since I was baby. Maybe she just give a simple word, and finally I learn other kinds of vocabulary that help me to grow. And finally I learn some things that uncommon words like slang words, something.
I see. And do you have any idea what you want to do after high school?
Yes. So I'm in culinary major, and I have maybe passion for being chef, but I also want another major like hospitality. So I want to go to college maybe to outside the country to learn both of them, and maybe become the manager or something that can make me happy for my future.
I see. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk adik Andari, penampilan yang sangat percaya diri ya, teman-teman. Untuk peserta selanjutnya, kita panggil Ailsa Putri Dania dari SMK Negeri 1 Sukawati. Untuk peserta nomor urut 6, bisa mempersiapkan diri, bisa ke belakang panggung.
Tes.
Ya, tes suara dulu.
Tes. Oke.
Oke. Untuk waktu sudah siap? Kita mulai 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, respected judges and everyone in the audience. Today, Ailsa Putridania from SMK Negeri 1 Sukawati, stand here before you to present a speech entitled The Illusion of Intelligence. Let me start with a simple story. Last night, a student had an assignment due at 11:59 p.m. At 11:47, the page is still blank. No clear ideas, no arguments, no structure. Instead of thinking, the student opened an AI tool. Type one sentence, press enter. 10 seconds later, introduction, 3 body paragraph, strong conclusion, perfect grammar, impressive vocabulary. Student copied it, changed 2 or 3 sentences, submitted it. And 1 week later, it received an A. The teacher said, excellent critical thinking, but there was no critical thinking.
Di mana ya, Kak?
Maybe some of us
boleh
in
deh di
this room
samping kayak.
have done the same thing.
Ya.
No, this is not rare. It's not shocking either.
Mana masangnya?
Somehow, this is normal. This is 2026.
Seharusnya.
Artificial intelligence is
Where is
not
it?
the enemy.
There we go.
The real problem is much more uncomfortable.
Oh, di
The
jaketnya
problem
aja deh.
is not that
Bisa.
AI is getting
Aman
smarter. The
seharusnya,
problem
Kak.
is that we
Asal
are getting comfortable
dicantolin.
of being less.
Iya.
Less willing to struggle, less willing to think deeply, less willing to sit in confusion. When AI writes our essay, we submit better work. We build weaker skill. When AI solves our problem, we get correct answer, but we skip the reasoning. And over time, we confuse fast results with real intelligence. But critical thinking is what makes us humans special. It's the ability to analyze argument, question information, even make independent judgment. AI can generate answer, but it doesn't question itself. It doesn't take responsibility. It doesn't grow from mistake. If we slowly stop practicing our critical thinking skill, we may still look intelligent, but we're no longer developing intelligence. That is the illusion. And the dangerous part? Nothing looks wrong. Grades stay high, assignments looks impressive, success continues, but depth quietly disappears. Now let's go back to the student. Imagine them 5 years from now on, in a university exam hall, where no device allowed, no AI, there will be no prompt box in your life, no regenerate response button, only pressure, just them and the decision. If we practice ourselves to the pen before we think, how would we react? If machine can analyze, argue, even decide, what makes us different? If critical thinking is what makes humans special, and if critical thinking is slowly disappears, then what are we? Can we still call ourselves human? We're no longer thinkers, not even a creator, just user. And a generation that stops thinking deeply doesn't lose its grade, it loses strength. So, what should we do? Not ban AI, not even fear of it, but change our relationship with it. Use AI tool for refinement, not replacement. Before asking AI to make you an essay, try writing your own ideas first, even if it's imperfect. Before asking AI to solve your problem, attempt the problem yourself, even if it took longer. Use AI to check your reasoning, challenge your perspective, even suggest improvement. Because speed is impressive, but depth is powerful. School also needs to adapt. Education in 2026 cannot only be rewarded with polished results. It must value reasoning, explanation, and originality. Teachers should ask students to explain to the teacher. Teachers should ask students to ask how they come up with their solution, to defend their arguments verbally, to reflect on their thinking process. Because in this world with unlimited information, the rarest and most valuable skill is judgment. And judgments come from critical thinking. Not from copying, not from convenience, not from AI, but from effort. So yes, in 2026, the smartest student in the classroom might not be human. But education was never meant to produce perfect assignments. It was meant to produce powerful minds. We may be the first generation in history with unlimited access to intelligence and still lose the ability to think. The future will not belong to the fastest machine. The future belongs to those who still dares to think. The question now is not, will AI continue to grow? The question is, will we? That is all about my speech. Thank you.
Okay, nice speech. AI again. So did you have AI write your speech?
Sorry?
Did you have AI write your speech?
I use AI to revise some of my sentences.
Oh, did you? Okay, very good. So when did you first start speaking English?
Since I was a little kid.
Little kid, always speaking it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, I see. What do you want to do after high school?
I want to go to art college.
Art college. Nice, nice. What kind of art do you like?
I don't have any particular art style for now, but I'm from SMK 1 and I study art.
I see. So you want to be like an art historian, or do you want to be an actual artist?
Painter.
Oh, painter. Do you do paintings right now? And you post them on the internet, or?
Not yet.
Do you sell them?
But hopefully in the future.
Yeah, when you're more famous. I see. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Oke, kita berikan tepuk tangan yang meriah. Pembahasan IEX menarik ya. Kita panggilkan peserta selanjutnya. Malika Putri Cahyanda dari SMA Negeri 2 Denpasar. Oke, untuk peserta nomor 8 kami persilahkan untuk bersiap di belakang panggung.
Tes. Oke.
Yes. Siap. Untuk waktu? Siap? 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Malika Putri Cahyanda from SMA Negeri 2, Denpasar. Before I start my speech, I would like to warn you, no AI or generative kind of AI is used during the making of this speech. All resources I gather from my friend and my coach and my family at home. So everything is by the human mind. Now, my speech is titled, How Can Youth of Indonesia Use Social Media as a Way to Tackle the Stigma Surrounding Mental Health Within the Country? Without further ado, without wasting any more time, let's start. Now, mental health and social media. I'm sure you all come across it every day in this day and age. But in Indonesia, why is it that whenever we want to talk about
mental health problems. It's seen as taboo. It's seen as something weird. Why is it that young folks of Indonesia are still scared to reach out, to seek help, to talk about their feelings? Why is there a stigma about this? Now, how can us, youths of a new generation, get rid of this stigma? Not just get rid of it, let's just say prevent it from going on to generations. Let's roll back a bit. Let's start with a smaller scale. Ourselves, our environment. Does it happen to you before? Whenever you want to speak, to reach out, to tell how emotionally and mentally fatigued you are not faced with reassurance, you are not faced with acceptance. Why is it that your feelings, your mental health is as if it's something that can be judged, that can be ridiculed, that can be something compared to, that make you feel like your feelings aren't valid? Where did this stigma start? Of course, let's take a personal experience of mine. I want to reach out. I want to tell someone I know that I don't feel the way I am. I haven't been acting the way I am. Everything's just so tiring. Everything's just so mentally disturbing. But what am I faced with? Judgment. And the things they say can be so outrageous. They can say it's just your weak mindset. Stop being weak. Or even they can just say, it's just a phase, it will pass. You're just being dramatic. Or sometimes they even have the audacity to say, sorry, this is a bit harsh. It's just your lack of faith. Strengthen your belief. It's just something tempting you. Or they could even say something similar. You're experiencing paranormal disturbance. What? Mental health is not that simple. That is what we call a stigma, a negative view of something. Now, mental health issues is a humane thing. People can feel pressured, people can feel tired. Now, back to the question, where did this stigma start? This stigma has been going down from generations to generations. It starts with the older generation. Why? Because back then, they didn't have the education, the awareness needed about that. They raised children with, harsh methods, whereas physical and psychological abuse is masked with the facade of, quote unquote, giving them a lesson. This creates a harmful environment for them to grow. They grow up thinking that teaching their children with harsh methods like this, it'll make them learn respect, learn to discipline. No, it's just raising the child with fear. And that's create a what? That creates a generation under pressure. A generation that's afraid to speak of what they're feeling, of their opinions. Now, how can we stop this? We have what we have now, social media on our hands. But it cannot just work with just us. Where does the lack of education from the older generation come from? How can they have education? How can they gain awareness if sometimes the government itself does not pay attention about it? Sorry, but it is merely the truth. So, how can us youth work together as a generation to create a movement in social media? Social media is a wide network of platforms. It's very strong. Everything can spread globally with just one simple click. First, we learn to educate ourselves. We research, we learn what is mental health, what is the impact of a mental illness, what are the symptoms. While we learn about that, we also need to learn how to fact check, how to think critically with the information we receive. And then we can educate our friends. We can tell them about it. And after that, when we have an educated generation, won't that go down to generations? We can also use social media to create a movement to earn the government's gaze so that we as a country can work together to create a better and safer generation who aren't afraid, who aren't pressured or anything like that. So, together, as a generation, as a community, as a country, us youths of a new generation can create a safer environment with social media itself, with technology, with just a simple click of a button. And that's how youths of Indonesia can use social media to tackle the stigma surrounding mental health within the country. Thank you.
All right, very good. Check, check. So your English is pretty fluid.
Oh, thank you.
How long have you been speaking English?
I've been speaking English since I was around 1 or 2 years old because my entire family speaks English due to when the environment I live in when I was small is around the area with many tourists. So my father encouraged me to talk to them without any fear. So I've grown accustomed to, so English is basically my first language now because I'm more used to it at home.
Nice, okay, good. So what do you want to do after high school?
After high school, I'm actually planning on a few routes. Either I want to take psychology because mental health and anything about it really intrigues me due to some personal experience. And I also want to try maybe like international relations, you know, like the UN, because I've joined a moon competition before and that really intrigued me as well. And the other is an immigration officer because I just genuinely enjoy it. I just like, yeah, that's one of the options my parents give me.
Nice, nice. Well, that's good. When I was in high school, I had absolutely no idea, and I still don't. So anyway, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah. Sepertinya persaingan semakin ketat ya. Semuanya hebat-hebat. Kita lanjut kepada peserta selanjutnya. Ida Ayu Mahalia Putri Manuaba dari SMA Katolik Santo Yosef Denpasar. Kepada Dayu Mahalia kami persilakan. Untuk peserta ke-9 bisa menuju belakang panggung. Tes dulu.
Tes.
Oke, siap. Untuk
Halo.
waktu.
Halo.
Oke.
Halo.
Oke, saya hitung mundur dari sekarang.
Oh yes. Tes. I'm ready.
Oke. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever scrolled past a TikTok video or any type of post about climate change with this uneasy feeling? You know very well that you should do something, but you hesitate. You ask yourself, should I do it? Should I try? Should I speak up? But in the end, doubt convinces you that staying silent is easier, and it keeps you neutral. However, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you the truth, staying silent isn't neutral, it's a choice. And while we continue to hesitate and wait, we let the climate crisis continue to destroy our hope. My name is Lia Manuaba, and I'm here to deliver my speech about climate action and why the voices of young generations matter. Today, we can no longer deny that our world is changing rapidly. It is no longer just something that we used to see in our textbooks anymore, or something that we see as in the future. It is here now, accelerating beyond our control. And we can even start to see the signs today. Temperatures are rising more more and more people are forced out of their homes by erosions and floods. Wildfires are destroying thousands of hectares of forest, killing billions of animals. And even in our own country, Indonesia, the communities of Sumatra have been devastated by severe flooding, with at least 1,000 people killed and over 100,000 people displaced. These aren't just statistics. These are entire lives changed forever. And in response to this urgency, many people, including young generations, have been taking actions like spreading awareness, talking about it on their social media, and even organizing movements. However, despite all of the efforts that have been made, today the climate crisis continues to grow more and more each day. So now the real question is, what is holding us back from stopping this crisis? At first, it may seem like the real problem is that nobody cares. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is that not everyone reacts. Sure, many people today are aware of the climate crisis. They know everything. But it doesn't mean that everyone is willing to take action. And we can see this a lot, especially in young generations. And they're often driven by one single belief, a belief that says that their voice does not matter. Think about social media. Many young people today comment things like, as if the government is going to care about us. Or they would say something like, I'm only 17. What am I even supposed to do? These types of comments clearly show that for many young people, action can begin to feel pointless. After all, major environmental decisions are made in boardrooms, parliaments, global summits, spaces where many young people don't have the access to. And when we don't have the ability to sign policies or control industries, it becomes easy for us to question whether our efforts truly matter. So over time, the doubt turns into hesitation, and hesitation turns into silence. But ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you once again that staying silent isn't neutral. It's a choice that allows the damage to grow. So as a young generation who will inherit the consequences of climate change, we must refuse to stay silent. And we can start by taking action as simple as changing our mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, we must remember that every effort, even if it's small, has its own impact. Take Melati and Isabel Wishen as an example. These two sisters started a youth movement in Bali against single-use plastic and even started a petition that eventually pushed local policy change, creating a positive impact for their communities. But of course, action doesn't always have to start big. It can start as small as how many young people today use their platforms to educate others and promote a sustainable future. Ladies and gentlemen, these are proof that every generation can make a great impact to the world, which is exactly why the voices of young generations matter. So ladies and gentlemen, we must remember one thing, that we can choose to not stay silent. We can choose to not look away, and we can choose to act, even when the outcome feels uncertain. Because every voice, every act, and every protest matters. The choice is ours to make. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you for listening, and salam sejahtera.
All right, excellent, excellent. So, how long have you been speaking English?
I've been speaking English since I was in 3rd grade. So I signed up for an English course of course, by my mom, and I eventually started speaking English for a really long time.
Yeah, I can tell. So, what do you want to do after high school? Did you have any idea?
I want to, of course, I want to join a university, and I would like to pursue a degree, and I would like to pursue a mechanical engineering degree. So the reason why I wanted to pursue this degree is actually because I am someone who is really concerned about the climate change, and that is why I chose this topic. So my hopes is that in the future, when I do pursue this degree, I can use this degree to make technologies that will help the climate change.
I see. Okay. Okay. Great. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Dayu Putri. Kita panggilkan peserta selanjutnya. Nadia Saki Asarin dari SMA Saraswati 1 Denpasar. Oke, kami persilahkan.
Ya. Tes.
Aman? Untuk waktu aman. Kita mulai. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Well, before I start my speech, I would like to ask you some questions. Do you guys have any dream career? Yes. Do you guys know how to prepare it in knowledge? Yes. Well, some people may know how to prepare it, and some may not know how to prepare it, especially teenagers. Because why? They have to prepare themselves for their future career. But yet still, some of them still don't know how to prepare it. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nadia Sakyazarin and I'm from Saraswati 1 Denpasar. I'm here to represent you my speech of how to prepare ourselves for our future career in knowledge as teenagers. Before I continue my speech, I would like to explain more what career really means. Career is more than just a job. It's a long-term professional journey that includes jobs, skills, roles, or even experience to pursue our life goal. Knowledge is much more important than you think. With knowledge, we can understand what truly happens in our world. With knowledge, we can solve our problems and even use it as many things. Even Nelson Mandela once says, knowledge is the most powerful weapon to change our world. As if with it we can rule the world. Isn't that enough to prove of how strong knowledge is? That's why I'm here to share you some tips of how to get knowledge and to use it for our future. First step is to build learning habits. We can learn by such as reading books, watch educational videos, or even searching through online. With that, our knowledge will slowly grow. Second, we can stay curious and ask questions. With it, we will gain much more information instead of just accepting it. Third, to try every different kind of knowledge field. And with that, we will able to discover what we truly like much more easier. And we can even use it to pursue our life goal. And fourth, to use technology much more wisely. Because nowadays we have easy access to internet. So instead of just using it for entertainment, why don't we use it for such as learning? I mean, we can join online courses through our internet and learn even more. And then finally, the fifth, we can try what we learn and apply them to real life, such as joining clubs, school competitions, or even school projects. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is much more important. Knowledge makes our life much more easier than you think. Even knowledge can make us to achieve our dream career much more easier. For example, my mom, she's a former doctor that used to work as a health clinic back in a small town called Metro in Sumatra. In her teenage life, she preferred to study at home and make notes instead of going out to play with her friends. Because of that, learning have become her habits. And because of her habits, every time she learns or even study in medical school, she became one of the best students there.
Because of that, a lot of people offering her good jobs in well-known hospital or even high-class hospitals. She even managed to become doctor much more easier and faster than her friends. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, career is not what we got in one day. Career is what we build step by step with the knowledge we gain today. And as us teenagers, it's a perfect time to even build, explore for our future opportunities. Because future is for those who prepare it. Thank you for listening my speech today.
All right, so your speech was about future careers. So what do you want to do after high school, if anything?
Yes, I want to go to the college and study about management.
Management? What do you want to manage?
Well, a lot of things actually, because I do prefer to work with teams to manage something, something like that.
So you want to be a general manager?
Yeah.
That's probably the goal, right?
Yes.
Or a CEO?
Oh, I hope so one day. Yes.
Great. I think you can. Okay, great. That's all I have for you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Oke, kita beri aplaus yang meriah untuk Nadia. Kita panggilkan peserta selanjutnya, nomor 10. Oke, kita persiapan dulu ya untuk peserta 10.
Tes, 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 tes. Udah masuk ya? Tes. Hai.
Oke, saya panggil Putu Ari Ramania Santi Devi dari SMA Negeri 8 Denpasar. Yes. Oke, bisa tes dulu suaranya, Kak?
Tes. Hello, everyone. Okay.
Oke, saya hitung mundur. 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable judge, and my dear friend. Before I start my speech, I want everyone here to do something. Can you please take out your phone for a moment? Yes, your phone, everyone? Alright, now look at your screen. Do you still see yourself? That small device in your hand has the power to connect you to the entire world. You can talk to people across the continents, learn new things instantly, and share your life with thousands of others. But here's the shocking part. Sometimes the same device that connects us to other people can slowly disconnect us from ourselves. Well, think about it. How many times have we opened our phone just to check one message but end up scrolling for 30 minutes? Platforms like Instagram and TikTok make it incredibly easy to keep scrolling without knowing how much time has passed. And that made me think about something. We spend hours trying to be seen online, but the real question is, do we still see ourselves? Well, recently I read a book called Offline, Finding Yourself in the Age of Distraction by Desi Anwar in 2020. One idea from that book really stayed with me. She explained that our lives today are surrounded by constant distraction. Notification, messages, and endless scrolling compete for our attention almost every second. And when I read that part, I realized something. This isn't just happening to adults. It happened to us, young people, almost every day. Sometimes we wake up and the first thing we do is to check our phone. Sometimes we open social media just for a minute, but suddenly 30 minutes have passed. And slowly, without realizing it, we begin to lose something that's very important. Our ability to simply be present in the moment. Instead of enjoying where we are, we start to think about what to post. Sometimes we hang out with our friends, but everyone is looking at their phone instead of each other. And sometimes We scroll through so many perfect lives online that we begin to feel like our own life isn't good enough. But here is something we often forget. Social media shows highlight, not real life. Behind every perfect photo may be hours of editing. Behind every smiling post may be struggles we cannot see. So comparing our real life to someone else's highlight reels is like comparing our behind the scene of our life to someone else's movie trailer. But here is where we are as young generation have a choice. We can let the social media choose to control how we see ourselves, or we can choose to control how we use social media. Creating an impact in 2026 does not always mean to inventing new technology or becoming famous online. Sometimes creating an impact in 2026, it's about creating small action. Sometimes start to support with our friends instead of judging them, start to take breaks from our screen when we feel overwhelmed, or start to connecting with people in real life. Because the greatest impact of our generation is not about rejecting technology. It's about connecting with our people. Before I end up my speech, I want to try something with you guys. Can I get your attention, please? Okay, now please take off your phone. No phone, no distraction, nothing. In 3 seconds, okay? I'll start the 3 seconds now. All right. How does it feel? Isn't it a little bit strange? That 3 seconds in our life teach us something important. Sometimes we don't need to be online to feel connected, because the real connection is about slow down and be present. And I want to give you us one simple thought. Log out sometimes, look up more often, and start to live the moment that truly matter. I'm Ariel Amania from Senior High School number 8 Denpasar. Thank you.
All right, nice. I agree with your speech. So how long have you been speaking English?
I've been learning English since I was a kid, but in terms of speaking, I've learned it since in the middle high school.
I see, I see. And so what, the standard question, what do you want to do after high school?
After high school, I dream to become a doctor, so please wish me luck.
A doctor? Wow.
Yeah, a doctor.
Okay. What makes you want to do that?
Because for my personal experience, I have a little sister, but she both, so 2 sisters, they both died when she was young.
Oh.
So in terms of replace of my trauma, I want to help people and becoming a doctor.
So do you want to be a
Yeah.
So do you want to be a general doctor, or do you want to be a specialist in something?
I think I want to be a specialist doctor.
In which?
I think of the heart.
The heart?
Yes.
I see. Yeah. All right, it's going to take a long time of university.
Yeah,
right?
I hope I can do that. Please
Okay.
wish me luck, guys.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot. Good job, thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah sekali lagi. Itu tadi penampilan dari Putu Ari. Peserta selanjutnya, Sarah Lena Kurnia dari SMK Negeri 1 Sukawati. Oke, untuk peserta selanjutnya, nomor 12.
Hello. Hello.
Ya, kami persilahkan menuju panggung.
What? Apa? Hello, test. Test.
Oke, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, my name is Saralena. Before I start, I'd like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to stand here and speak with you all today. If I live to be 100 years old, it would be the 22nd century. It might seem like a very distant future, but for some of us, that future is real. And one day, we will look back and regret not doing more when we still had the chance. Our decisions we make today will determine whether our world, our generation, and the generations after us live in a world of stability or a world that is constantly facing disasters. According to the World Meteorological Organization, 2024 was the hottest year ever recorded, reaching about 1.55 degrees Celsius more than the pre-industrial temperatures of Earth. For years, scientists say that 1.5 is the critical point that we should never pass. Yet, we are already reaching that point. According to the United Nations Environment Program, our Earth is heading towards a far more warming than they say is safe. Beyond that point, increased risk of extreme heat, rising floods, stronger storms, and ecosystem collapse will increase drastically. And yet, with all that evidence, we are still not doing enough to protect our home. But this speech is not only for the corporations, governments, or politicians. This is for young people, because our generation are the ones that will live with the consequence of the choices made today. So, how can we fix this world? It's not that easy, but these things can make our Earth better. So, the United Nations Environment Program says that transportation is the biggest cause of climate change. It gives the biggest global carbon emissions. And governments should start to invest in cleaner technology, but we can also take action by doing these simple things, which is using a more sustainable way of travel. It means walking, cycling, carpooling, and using public transport. And while this may seem like a simple action, if young people do this every day, this will cause a significant effect. Besides transportation, we can also start by saving energy. We can save energy by, 1, unplugging our devices when they are not needed, and 2, we can turn off lights when they are not needed. 3rd, we can start using less electricity. And besides transportation and saving energy, we can also start advocating climate change, information awareness, and we can also start doing the 3 R's, which is reuse, reduce, and recycle. Because our generation will be the ones that live with the consequence. And just as Greta Thunberg once said, "You are never too small to make a difference." And I think that's exactly what youth climate action means. It means that no matter if you are young or small, or if you are smart or dumb, you can make a difference using your voice. And I would like to add another quote by Mark Carney. It means, "This is the time of power for the powerless. It means that this is our time to do something, and we should stop being silent about it. I would also like to add that we do have a hand in changing our story. Some people act as if our future is already decided, but it's not. And I would also like to add that no matter if you are afraid or if you are shy, I would like to add that you should come up and take action. That's it for me. Thank you. Oh my God.
Okay, so is this really the field that you want to work in after high school?
I would really like to pursue interior design or something with architecture.
Yeah, that's better. How long have you been speaking English?
Since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid. I have to I have to ask you more questions to figure out your
Yes.
English. Sorry. So, what do you like to do for fun? Do you play any sports or anything like that?
I like to read and play games, and I really like to be on social media to spread awareness of climate change.
Okay. All right. So where did you come from in Bali?
No, I'm not from Bali.
Oh, you're
I'm
not
from
from Bali.
Jakarta.
Jakarta.
And I moved to Bali when I was 13.
I see. So you live here now then, obviously.
Yes.
I see. I see. Do you plan to stay here?
Not forever.
Not forever. Where do you want to go?
Preferably Australia or an English-speaking country,
I
but my brother will be going to Germany, so I think I'll follow him to Germany.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Sarah. Penampilan yang tenang, memukau. Kita panggil selanjutnya. Tidak terasa ya, sudah memasuki peserta ke-12. Kita panggilkan Kate Selin Santoso dari SMA Katolik Santo Yosef Denpasar.
It's what matters. Check. Test. Check. 1, 2, 3, check.
Oke. Kita hitung mundur. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, when discussing about the impact of artificial intelligence in education, people never fail to mention the effects that it has on students like us. And while I think that perspective is undeniably important, I'd like to tell you all about the other side of this story. My name is Ketselin Santoso from St. Joseph Senior High School, and today I'd like to tell you all about another industry that is heavily impacted by this artificial intelligence blight, the education industry. Now, I'd like for us to seriously think about something. What do you think happens when the industry that's responsible for the extra income that thousands of teachers out there heavily rely on begins to weaken? What do you think happens to all those books that you used to study for school and all the guidebooks that help you on your important exams are no longer written by the people who understands your struggles or by the people who share the same educational values as we do? Pretend this is a school book. This book represents more than just words on paper. They represent someone's effort, someone's sleepless night thinking about materials, someone's years of teaching experience. Now, what do you think happens when artificial intelligence replaces those efforts? Artificial intelligence offers speed. They offer efficiency, cost reduction. So on the surface, replacing human writers with artificial intelligence seems like a very smart financial decision. However, for decades, many teachers have relied on writing books and modules as extra income. And as educational companies begins to replace human writers with artificial intelligence, those financial opportunities begins to fade. And when those financial opportunities disappear, financial stability disappears with them. Yet the risk is not only economic, because while a machine can generate information based on data, it cannot comprehend the way humans create with passion. It does not understand when a topic requires emotional sensitivity or moral responsibility. Teachers do. Teachers write with experience and care. They pour their heart and soul into their creation. And if we remove that human part of education, then yes, we will gain efficiency. Yet every gain demands a sacrifice. And if the price of efficiency is the loss of our own educators and the erosion of human connection among students, would that be a price you're willing to pay? Because yes, education will become faster, yet it will also become colder. And education was never meant to be cold. This is exactly where we as youth in the digital era come in. Because in 2026, we are not just students observing this transformation, we are the generation that's growing up alongside it. We cannot afford to just sit still and watch, because the choices being made about artificial intelligence in education today will shape the education system we inherit tomorrow. So the real question isn't whether artificial intelligence will impact education. It already does. The question is, what impact are we as youth in the digital era are going to make with this technology? Are we going to normalize replacing humans with machines simply because it is efficient? Or are we going to advocate for a system that balances innovation with responsibility? We cannot just blindly accept the system that is handed down to us. We must learn it, and we must improve it to shape a better tomorrow. In 2026, integration should not mean elimination. Artificial intelligence should feel like a collaborative partner in the classroom instead of a replacement. Imagine an education system where AI enhances the human potential instead of competing with it. This way, teachers would not be dispositioned by innovation, they would be positioned at the center of it. Furthermore, we must advocate for AI learning policies that guarantee human supervision in educational production, ensuring that every material is educationally worthy. If education is the foundation of society, then we cannot afford to build it on convenience alone. We must build it on values, on wisdom, and on responsibility. AI can assist us, but it should never define us. It can accelerate information, but it cannot replace intention. Because at the end of the day, education is not just about how fast information is delivered, it is about how meaningfully it shapes character and how deeply it is understood. If education shapes the future, then we must ensure that the future of education still remain a human heart. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a wise person once said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So let us not fear artificial intelligence, but let us learn it, let us question it, and let us improve it, so that in shaping education with wisdom, we prove that the digital era does not weaken humanity, but strengthens it. Thank you for your attention, and salam sejahtera.
Okay, good. So, how long have you been speaking English?
I've been speaking English for basically the time I started to speak. Because I've been watching television ever since I was a child, and my parents just made me watch cartoons that were English-based. So I just grew up speaking English.
I see. Okay, good. So, what do you want to do after high school?
After high school, I'd like to go to China, perhaps, or maybe an English-speaking country, because I want to go major in psychology or maybe business.
I see. What do you want to do in China? I lived in China before.
Because in China, I feel like that's a country that's very technologically developed, so it's a good place for me to go and study.
Okay. Where do you come from in Bali?
I come from Denpasar, and I live in Sanur right now. That's why I can speak English because it's mostly a tourist place.
Right. Okay, I see. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wow, penampilan yang sangat lugas. Wow. Kita beri tepuk tangan dong sekali lagi. Ini sudah mendekati ya ke peserta selanjutnya, tidak terasa. Ternyata semuanya hebat-hebat. Kita panggilkan peserta nomor 13, Berlin Laurelain dari SMK Negeri S1 Sukawati.
Okay.
Ayo timnya beri tepuk tangan dulu, beri semangat temennya. Bisa tes dulu suaranya. Sebelumnya untuk peserta selanjutnya bisa bersiap.
Oke.
Tes. Oke, 3, 2, 1.
Before I start my speech, I would like to extend my gratitude to the people, to the sound guys, to the judge, to my audience for being present and granting me the opportunity to speak in front of you today and compete. Now, let's talk about our future careers. Career. When I think of this word, I'm reminded of the future. What if I don't have a good future in the career? What if I don't have a good career in the future? What if I don't like what I do in the future? What if my coworkers are mean to me? What if I don't want to be challenged? What if I just want to sit around all day, play video games, and draw? But I also want to excel. I want to have a prosperous career where I travel the world and meet new friends. So I came to the realization that I'm scared of the future because I don't know what the future holds. So what do? We prepare for the future. I'm an animation student, see, and I've actually done a lot of things to prepare myself for the future. I was a volunteer at a cat shelter in which I needed to note if a cat was introverted or extroverted. I sold merchandise. Yeah. I've been consistently volunteering for a festival in Ubud for the past 2 years. And the first time I was a main program kind of stage crew person. And so in the main program, there would be speakers and journalists and writers and all these accomplished speakers coming up to the main program to speak about their works, their journalism, their experiences, their books. And it was hectic. Rory, where are the chairs for the VIP people? Rory, where's this speaker on this time at this day? Rory, where's the mic? Hectic. And I panicked. But I tried to adapt. And I made a list of what I needed to do in my head. First, I needed to grab a mic. I need a speaker on stage. That means I need to contact their liaison. I need chairs. That means I need to contact logistics people, right? The second time, I volunteered for a food festival, and I was a merchandise seller. And I was really scared. Again, I'm scared, because I didn't know how to sell stuff. But again, I tried to adapt. I analyzed what is interesting about this product that I can communicate with the customer. And even though we didn't sell phenomenal, we sold okay. And I had fun. The third time, I was a volunteer at a cat shelter. And you see, this was the strangest volunteering experience I had ever encountered. And my job at this cat shelter was to interact with the cats. And that was all I was to do. I tried to sweep one day, and my supervisor came up to me, and she firmly said, "Don't do that." And so, why did I do this job? Well, it was because these cats needed to be adopted. Therefore, they needed to be comfortable with interactions with humans. And so my job had a purpose, right? At first, I thought that I was just doing a bunch of random volunteering jobs. But then it clicked, the realization of why I'm doing this. Because it taught me something. Every experience that I have taught me something, right? And these life skills can't be taught instantly. I can't tell you what to do if you're working under pressure in a chaotic situation, right? There are so many ways that the modern world can grant you opportunities to prepare yourself for your future career, but it all starts with you. I am scared right now. I'm still scared of the future. I'm so scared that my hands are shaking. But I still made the decision to be here in front of you today and speak. Because you will always be scared of the future, and waiting around here won't change anything. Instead of trying to abolish that fear of the future, we need to stand proud. We need to acknowledge it, we need to face it, and we need to get comfortable with it. Because we won't have control over our future. But we do have control over our bodies because we are alive. And as long as we are alive, we will always have autonomy. If not over our future, then of ourselves. Because the future doesn't have to be scary. It can be exciting. It can be fun. It can be filled with opportunities if you look for it. And even when the fear is somewhere in the back of your mind, you can feel at home with it and comfortable. And you can feel prepared to tackle your future career head on. Thank you.
Okay, so your English is very fluent, almost
Thank
perfect. When did you first start speaking English? Your whole life, basically?
Before I learned how to write, I learned how to speak English, and that was by Disney Channel mainly.
Just by the Disney Channel by itself? I see. So, you work at a cat shelter. You still work there?
Yes.
Oh, I see. I like animals myself. I have 5 dogs myself. Do you like dogs as well?
Hmm?
Do you like dogs also?
I love dogs. I love any animal.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. So is that what you want to pursue after high school?
No,
No?
after high school, I'm currently looking for scholarships, and I would like to study abroad and study animation or graphic design.
I see. Okay, well, judging by your English, I don't think you'll have any problem with that. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Oke, kita beri tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Berlin. Gagasan yang sangat jujur dan luar biasa ya. Kita panggil peserta selanjutnya. Nomor urut 14. Elma Latifatun Nisa dari SMA Negeri 2 Kuta. Kami persilakan. Peserta selanjutnya. Bisa tes dulu suaranya?
Tes.
Oke, kita hitung. 3, 2, 1. Mulai.
Have you ever noticed how easily our thumbs scroll, but how rarely we pause and reflect? What if I told you that the most powerful thing nowadays isn't artificial intelligence but emotional intelligence? When we hear the phrase "huge" in the digital era, most of us immediately think about innovation, creativity, and popularity. We imagine content creators, startups, trending hashtags, and viral movements. It sounds exciting, and in reality, it truly is. But before we go deeper into this discussion, let me start with an idea from above. In his book, Digital Minimalism, author Carl Newport explains that many social media platforms are designed specifically to attract and retain our attention for as long as possible. The goal is not only to connect us, but for compete our time, the most valuable resource we have. And that brings me a question. If time is our most valuable asset, Why do we spend hours scrolling and what we actually get from it? Good morning, judges and audience. My name is Alma Latifatunisa from SMEN Zukuta. Today, I would like to invite you to look deeper into the relationship between social media and mental health. Also to explore simple habits that can help us stay influential without losing our true selves. Ladies and gentlemen, we grow up in an era where most of our lives happen online. We wake up and check our notification. We have to measure our
that we are creating
time
right now.
by how long we scroll through our
I've been
screen.
choosing my best.
We compare our
Hospitality
real
and
morning with
connection.
other people's perfect highlight. Social media gives us opportunities that previous generations never had. We can build personal brands, start businesses, and speak out on important issues. However,
and connection.
with these opportunities also comes pressure. The pressure to perform perfectly, the pressure to keep up so we don't fall behind the latest trend is
Gak ada
immense.
siapa yang nonton Indira.
If that is our self depends only on likes and reaction from others.
Ya Tuhan, I'm come here to share my idea.
According
So
to an
please help me,
article
God.
in Tribun Bali written by
God is always with
Harsiana
me.
Putri,
Nothing impossible. The
excessive
world
use
is full
of
of
social media
possibilities.
platform make users feel less happy and emotional drained. Therefore, it is recommended to take a break from social media from time to time in order to maintain our mental well-being. Everyone, the challenge is not to delete our social media. The real challenge is learning how to use it without letting it define who we are. That is why we need something that can calm our minds amidst of constant noise of digital platform, such as engaging in meaningful activities like journaling. Everyone, when we talk about hobbies and habits, many teenagers today spend their free time with their phones rather than engaging in meaningful activities. Some of them immediately open their smartphones during their free time. But does this habit really affect our lives? The answer is yes, it does. The time we spend on it could be actually redirected toward more meaningful activities such as reading, exercising, and journaling. Reading and exercising may sound ordinary, but what about journaling? Journaling is a valuable activity that is rarely discussed, even though it can bring significant benefit when practiced regularly. In the book Journalism written by Sandy Grayson, it is stated that journaling can bring significant benefit. It can help us to solve major life problems. In the world where we constantly share updates with others, journaling becomes the space where we reconnect and update ourselves. However, awareness alone is not enough. We need to take action. So, how can we as the younger generation in 2026 create a positive digital impact while still protecting our mental health? Let's do 3 simple ways. First, be a conscious and intentional user of technology. Second, take about 10 to 15 minutes each day to reflect. And third, focus on your own growth instead of comparing yourself with others. Technology will evolve, social media will remain, and new trends will always emerge. But in the middle of all this progress, what we truly need is a balance. We need rest and we need relationships that feel genuinely real. So, we should make a choice that protect and nurture our own well-being. Thank you.
Okay, good. So how long have you been speaking English?
Sorry?
How long have you been speaking English? When did you first learn it?
Especially for speaking, I've been only 1 year ago to learn it.
Only 1 year.
Yeah,
Wow.
when I continue to senior high school.
Wow, that's pretty good for just 1 year. Okay. So what do you want to do after high school?
Sorry?
What do you want to do after high school? What would you like to do?
For after graduating high school, for the first plan, of course, I want to continue my education to university, and for the second plan, to gain much experience as possible.
Experience doing what? What do you want to do? What would you like to do? Like experience doing what?
Like leadership or organization.
I see. What do you want to take in university?
I want to take like engineering, especially environmental engineering, because I love science and I love environment.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, penampilan yang
Sahur sehat tanpa nyalain kompor dan cuci banyak wajan.
Wah, ini memang persaingan yang sangat luar biasa hari ini. Tentu akan sangat sulit ya untuk juri menilainya. Semuanya sangat bagus. Nanti seperti apapun hasilnya, adik-adik ini adalah juara ya untuk diri sendiri karena sudah berani tampil, menaklukkan rasa takut, menunjukkan rasa percaya diri. Tetap semangat ya. Oke, ini adalah acara kita yang terakhir ya hari ini dengan tampilnya Aisyah. Saya, Ida Ayu Made Satnyari sebagai pembawa acara mohon pamit undur diri dan acara ini akan ditutup dengan sesi foto bersama. Kami persilahkan untuk adik-adik semua bisa maju, orang tua, guru pendamping juga ikut mendampingi kita foto bersama dengan juri. Ya, saya juga undang pemimpin redaksi kami dan juga GM bisnis kami serta para peserta dan panitia. Ayo kita foto bersama. Ayo semuanya silakan maju ke depan. Kita fotonya menghadap ke membelakangi aula ya supaya terlihat ininya. Oke, kalau bisa kita naik ke panggung, ayo silakan semuanya. Ayo peserta boleh dari lapas juga ikut. Ayo kita rame-rame foto, ayo. Silakan Bapak. Mungkin dari pendamping, dari orang tua, silakan bisa ikut rame panitia juga. Ayo kita rame-rame, kita dukung adik-adik. Panitia? 2 sesi ya, 2 sesi foto ya. Oke, saya beri aba-aba.